What's going on, metalheads? I'm Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and I have another disassembly video for you, and this is another Sencut. But before we get into that, thank you to all you subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Leaving a like, comment. I really appreciate all, and I love talking to all of you. You know, a couple of you guys crack me up in the comments, so please keep the comments coming, and if you're on Instagram, message me on Instagram also. So if you're new here, click the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you're notified when I upload new videos. And even if you don't like this video, subscribe anyway. You might not like this one, but you might like the next one or the one after that. If you don't like all of them, then don't unsubscribe, but give me a chance. Maybe you'll learn something from me, or maybe you can teach me something, and let me know in the comments. So, all right, this is the Sencut Tynan. This is my third Sencut. Sencut's becoming one of my favorite budget knife makers, man. This is the third one. The first two have been fantastic. They've been really good. The Bronte and the Honorous, both are fantastic freaking knives. This one has a different blade still. This one is 10CR15CO MOV blade still. I've never used this blade still before. This is totally new to me. I did a little research on it, and from what I understand, it is better than the 9CR. So I can't say that for sure. I'm gonna test this knife out and see how it holds up. But that 9CR on the other Sencut knives, the Bronte, and especially the Honorous. I'm assuming the Bronte is the same as the Honorous because they came out about the same time. But specifically on the Honorous, I destroyed that knife, and that blade still held up so good. I mean, 9CR 18 MOV is considered a budget still, and maybe it is a budget still, but it's what Sencut's doing to that still is freaking fantastic. I don't know what the HRC rating is. I've looked, I can't find it. What I can tell you is it's freaking fantastic. So let's hope this lives up to those two knives. One thing I can tell you about this stuff, a couple things I didn't really mention in the unboxing. Listen to this ting. Man, this thing has a really good sound. I hope the mic picks it up. It has a really good sound to it. And then also how thin this knife is. It is super duper thin. Let me grab something to compare it to real quick before we take it apart. Here's a few we can compare it to real fast. Here is a Penguin liner lock. Look how thin this thing is, man. It almost fit inside that Penguin. Here's a Penguin frame lock. Again, a lot smaller. With it being black, it's hard to get it to show up, but and here's a Spyderco Para 3, which isn't really a thick knife. Super thin. Only 3.5 ounces, hair over, I think 3.6 ounces for this one. And it's flipper only, which, stick around for the end of the video. That's going to change. So, but most people like flipper only and aren't crazy like me. So, but by the end of this video, it will no longer be flipper only. All right, let's get started here. Which side do we want to take apart? With it being a frame lock, it's much simpler than a liner lock usually. I think we're going to do the show side. So we take the clip side off. We're going to have to take the clip off to get to that screw right there. So let's do the show side. And if they're like the other Sencut knives, it's going to be all T8 hardware, which is fantastic. Everyone should follow suit and stop using T6 for anything. Yeah, they're gonna, well, I think the pivot's T8. We'll know in just a second. Could surprise me and be T10, but probably T8. Yep, T8. Oh, free spinning pivot. We're gonna need to break out another driver. Let's break out the good screw. But the good screw being so much longer, I'm gonna put my shorter bit in the good screw and my longer bit in the Wiha. One bit on this side, one T8 on that side, one T8 on this side just to break it loose. There we go. Let's see if we can take it out with just one now. Just holding there. Yeah, it's coming out. I'll just use the good screw for the rest of it. Alright. Let's put our screws in our magnetic holder here. Get that out of here for now. This thing's pretty cool too, this Bitster. This thing, it's not really designed for knife use. This is something I found online, but man, it holds your little cotton things well. If you've got a bit driver like this, it holds it perfect right there. You can put your swabs there, your 1/4 inch bits there. You can actually put the smaller, I'm not sure what size they are, bits in here, and you could move these over there. Yeah, this thing's really cool. And then you got a magnetic screw holder there. So, all right. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat with all Sencut knives, they do not come lubed. It's like no lube. There's zero lube in it. I don't know why that is, but the other two were the same way. But they had fantastic action even without having lube, so. They're always super clean though. You know, my last disassembly video I used a microfiber with alcohol on it, which works great. Actually probably works better than this, but one of the reasons I like to use these is if these are dirty, if there's any dirt and grit left inside these knives, this is going to show it really clearly. You're going to see it clearly. And no. The other two Sencuts are the same way. Super clean. These bearings feel super free. They don't feel any like there's any grit or anything in them. We got to get in the hole. You know here at Blades and EDC, we like a clean hole. If the hole isn't clean, we're either going to clean it or we don't want anything to do with it. So keep a clean hole. That includes the detent hole. We're going to use a little swab to clean that out. Alright. Look at this. Picked up a little something there from somewhere, but for the most part, this thing is ridiculously clean. Alright, let's grab the rubbing alcohol and get a swabby to clean the detent hole. Doodad. I know a lot of people call them doodads, but it's basically just a cotton swab. These things are actually used for women's makeup. That's where they come from, for eyelashes and stuff like that. Alright, let's get in that hole. See how clean this hole is. Didn't turn black. It's a really good sign. It's a very clean hole. Very clean. Alright, wipe that down with that. Alright, now let's get a microfiber over here and dry everything off. Frame locks are so much easier to work on than liner locks. So many less components. Maybe it's not, but it just seems like to me liner locks are more difficult to work with. They're not hard, they're just not as simple. Alright, lubricant we're going to be using is from a company called ProShot. It's called Zero Friction. The stuff I've been testing it against KPL and Century No Glide. This is every bit of don't use Century actually not Century No Glide. It's called Century Tough Glide, but it's actually No Glide after about a week. Don't use Century. Don't use it on your knives. It gets thick and yeah, it's a mess. This on the other hand, this has been fantastic. And this is $7.50 for 30 milliliters compared to KPL being like $15 for 10 milliliters. So yeah, this is good stuff and it works great. I'm only a couple weeks in with it, but after a couple weeks it's been great. Alright, that's another good thing these little swabs are for. Great thing they're for, to help you control this. Right? You don't just squirt a bunch out and waste it and then get it all over stuff. You just get a little bit on there, leave a small layer on things. That's all you want. You don't want a whole bunch in there. You just want everything coated. That's all I'm doing here. I'll add another drop onto this and I'll do the bearings and the detent ball with that, and that's all that's needed. Let's go ahead and do the pivot real quick. There we go. Alright, and then we can take our swabby so we don't waste it or get oil over stuff, stick it back in that. Keeps everything nice and clean. This in here. The action was already good on this, but it had no lubrication in it at all, so the action is only going to get better. There's no doubt about that. And this Pro Shots is great. Shockingly good to me for how cheap it is. I was pleasantly surprised. And I just got online and started looking for different stuff to use, something else to try. And this is for poo-poos, knives, and tools. So, and it has no odor, just like KPL, which is also a good thing. Some of these oils smell like WD-40, and you know, there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the smell of WD-40, but I don't want it in my pocket all day. You know what I mean? Alright, where's our detent hole? Let's get in that hole. Get up in there. Get all up in that hole. Let's lube up the entry to that hole also. Let's get it all nice and lubed up. There we go. So we can slide right in there. Alright. That's a well lubed hole right there. Alright, put this one there. And that one there. Should still be plenty enough on this to do this one. Yeah, plenty. Plus there's some on this side also, which we'll get onto those balls. You know, you want a lubed hole, but a lube, oh, I gotta turn my hat around. I always forget I'm wearing a hat. The bill of my hat hits that. You don't just want a lubed hole, you want your balls nice and lubed also. Okay? It's a team effort here. You need the hole lubed and the balls lubed to get the best performance possible. Once you understand that, it's all downhill from there. It's gravy. I probably should have done this from the other side, because having that pocket, or taking the pocket clip off, having the pocket clip on there kind of puts this thing at an awkward angle. And this standoff is not wanting to cooperate with me. Get in there. Turn around so I can see better. This was going so smoothly. There we go. I got a standoff up here too. Does that come out? Yeah, let's go ahead and move that over here. Yeah, I should have done this the other way. Now that I think about it, I definitely should have just taken this out from the clip side, and I think it would have been easier. I was just trying to avoid taking the pocket clip off and making shortcuts, and in the end it's probably going to take me even longer, cause me even more issues. Actually no, we just popped right out. See, that's what I was telling you, man. Lubrication. Lube it up. Lube it up. Makes life so much easier. Alright. Oh. What's going on? Oh. Yeah, that should be a T8. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to slightly snug these for now till we get her centered up. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and Loctite this one also. Just a pivot though for now. Grab the Loctite real fast. Just want a tiny bit on there. See how little I got? That's plenty. Because when you screw it in there, it will spread out through all the threads. And use the blue Loctite, don't use red, because you'll never get it apart with the red. The blue, you will be able to break it. Wow, we're centered. We are dead centered right off the bat. Let's see if we got any blade play. No, no blade play at all. Rock solid. Alright, that's great. This thing came apart easily, went back together super easily. Let's get all this stuff out of the way and check our action out now. Keep in mind the action will only improve the more this knife is used. There's one more thing we got to do though. One more important thing that's going to be done to this knife. I may be able to bring that pivot back a little bit. Maybe it's slightly too tight. Let's work that oil through there real quick. That detent. Yeah, I'm going to turn that back just a little bit. As long as our centering isn't off. No reason to have it tighter than it needs to be, although tight is good. We're still dead centered. I just went back a tiny bit. We're much freer now. No blade play. Great. Fantastic. And I like multiple forms of deployment, so what I have here is a quick stud. You can buy these in individual packs, 3 packs, or single packs. You can get them in black, silver, or gold, bronze. I'm not sure where I need to get this to get the most leverage at the moment. I'm going to start about right there and see how it is. And I need to let this sit for 24 hours because I use Loctite, so I'm only going to do this a couple times. Yeah, I think we're good right there. What I did was center it in the middle of that cutout. That's generally where you're going to get the most leverage. So yeah, reverse flick, thumb flick, and flipper. Much more fidgety knife for $5. Yeah, great $5. Actually, if you buy a 3-pack, you get 3 for $10. So $3.33 each. Cool beans. This is going to sit down now for 24 hours, let that Loctite set up, and then the testing will commence on this knife. And I will start carrying it, and I will do a review of it down the road. So keep an eye out for that. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will link everything in this video, including this knife, in the description below. And thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one.